Hello, everyone. This is David G. Welcome to another episode of Big Up Yourself. Today, my co-host, as usual, is the man, Shevrado Oliver. And oh man, we got an exciting show today. We got the no other man that can do what he does. Stogie Kenyatta on the line. He's zooming in.
Big up yourself.
Big up yourself, Stogie Wagwan.
How you doing?
Good to have you, man.
All right. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, man. Respect yourself. Big up yourself, you know?
Yeah.
Come on, so how's things in California, man? You way out there.
It's beautiful, man. I love California. You know, it's the closest weather to Jamaica. I don't know, Florida. And
Florida's close.
And it's palm trees and it's an industry. And that's a part of success, you know, living where you want to live. And, you know, so
I understand that you went to school and you decided to stay. Is that how it went when you went out there?
Oh, yeah, I went to college there, you know, yeah. A little bit about myself. I'm born in Kingston, Jamaica, the Nauman Gardens area of Kingston, Jamaica, on Campadon Road in Kingston. And came up to America at around 8, 9 years old, eight and a half, you know, third grade. And
where you come? Brooklyn?
Brooklyn, yeah, the capital.
Brooklyn. Yes.
The capital. Yes.
Capital.
You know, so, you know, but you don't have to change not much when you come out of Brooklyn, you know.
Oh, really?
The
accent should be.
Brooklyn. You know, yeah. And so, you know, it's, so yeah. But it was a rough time, you know, and beautiful, you know, tough and beautiful. And, you know, and it was, you know, a rude awakening, you know, cold weather and thing, you know, but coming out of summertime.
Yes, yes. I heard you guys were having some weather problems, issues down there. Did it affect where you were at?
No. I was talking about, no, not really. You know, just some rain, you know, but it's nothing too bad at all.
Usually you don't usually get too much rain where you at, right? Because I have a song say.
No, you don't get much rain in California. You know, you're lucky you get around 30 days a year, 40 days a year. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I know that. I always hear the weather down there is nice, man. But yes, man. So you come here when he was 9 years old. You went to Brooklyn,
and he came in the summer, and the cold gave him a shock when wintertime came around, right?
You know, yeah. That and New York's a big city, you know, and it's different. It's rough. It's tough, you know. And I used to fight a lot, you know, because.
Wait, it's a fight?
Yeah.
What, man?
Because, you know, we have, well, I was big for my age, but, you know, we have, my father had an anger management problem, which I came by honestly because the whole other man in my family love fights. Because, you know, it's still big, you know, and it's
So,
yeah. So, you know,
who was fighting you?
Oh, just other kids at school, the whole thing, you know, your name is, your accent's different, the whole thing. Yeah. And the speech, you know, it's like, it's just a nature thing, you know, and so.
Been there. What you came up in the early 70s?
Yes.
Yeah, I've been there. Same thing. I laugh because I got into a lot of fights too. But it's the opposite. I was small for my age, so they think that it could pick on me. You know? No. So we had to fight. You know, you had better put up with them foolishness there. You know, you have a fight. Yeah. So, you know, I'm curious, man. Kenyatta, your dad is African? Kenyatta. How did you get that?
No, it's my grandmother's maternal grandmother.
Okay.
From Kenya.
Oh.
And Rosa Edwards. So my father, when I got to America, the marriage didn't last long, so they mash up. So I wasn't around him a lot, but he was violent when he was there, and you know, he was a brilliant man, well-spoken, big, handsome, tall, strong, strapping, and, you know, and full of ambition. But, you know, he came to an America that was blind to a black man's dream. And, you know, it's, he had degrees, but he would honor his degrees here, and he went to Academy of Aeronautics, and he was working nights. He got robbed. He got a bullet in the head, but it grazed his head.
What?
When when he was riding taxi. And so it was a lot of stuff.
But he's Jamaican. Your dad is Jamaican.
Of course, yeah.
Born and bred.
The whole of Jamaica. Yeah, from Spanish Town. I'm from Spanish Town. My mother from Mandeville.
Big up the whole of Spain. You know it go.
Oh yeah, and so it's but it's so we did. I didn't grow up with him. His younger brother was more of a father to me. My Uncle George.
Okay.
And he raised me, and he had a younger brother, Uncle Rupert, who the mafia ended up killing. He was in the construction business.
What?
And and so he had the Harrison construction firm. But what happened is I became righteous because I was a street kid, and I fought a lot, and and it was, I started getting arrested around 11, 12, 13. By the time I was 14, I'd been arrested around 4 or 5 times.
For fighting?
No, for thieving and No, you never get arrested for fighting. You never get arrested for fighting. It's like and the thing is, at first I didn't think I could fight because I would take some L's because the guys were a little bit stronger. They knew how to fight better. But then when I got to high school, I was with the 9th graders as a freshman. And a lot of the guys that I was fighting would gotta go like, damn, nigga, you dumb, man. You just in 9th grade? And I said, yeah, because I'm 13, you asshole. I'm supposed to be in 9th grade. I was in 8th grade last year. He's like, this nigga dummy in 9th grade. I mean, they didn't even hear me. And I was like, how old are you? And these niggas were 17. So what happened was when I was fighting them at 11 and 12, they were 15 and 16. But we were the same size.
Right.
But
I'll tell you, by the way.
Right, I'm 6'5".
6'5", yeah.
I'm 6'5", 250 pounds.
Okay.
I rotted muscles because the country my family come from. And that's what we did.
So,
the way God intended.
Tell me about Brooklyn, man.
Brooklyn's beautiful. I have a tremendous love for it. I won't live there again until I'm rich. I probably will never live there again because it's ugly. But but it's it built my soul. It gave me my code. It's like Brooklyn taught me, which is my motto now, which is why I'm still in this business, to live fearlessly because you're going to die anyway. And that's been my motto, live fearlessly.
You're gonna die anyway.
Yeah, man. Stogie full of philosophy.
And so we from this small third world island of Kingston, Jamaica, this thing to where, this defiance, this thing to where, fear nothing but God only. So what happened is at 12 years old, because I was in and out of this, getting, in trouble all the time, I was around gangsters. And so I got good with stealing. I learned some of the, guys that pimps and things. But I was right to play piano at church, and I was
you were in church?
Student. I learned fast. Yeah, my mother was a librarian, and you had to read, and I learned a love for the language because when you come home from school, you can't turn on TV because, you're on the electricity. So we were talking, TV not turn on. We're not on the electricity. Okay, we come on fire. We're not going, So we had to read.
Take up your book.
So when you have to read a book, how do you know she don't know if you're reading because you could just be staring at it. So you have to read out loud. So I would have to read out loud all the time. And every time you'd say a word that was wrong, she would interrupt you, because she's doing other things around the house, but she wanted to hear you reading out loud, particularly me because I'm low. And I was the one, because I had all sisters, 5 girls and me. My mother had 6 children and me, and so it's, so what happened was as time went on, I learned to embrace the spoken word. And I would read to my sister, The Cat in the Hat, and I would read very expressionist, the whole thing, because it would entertain them. I make them laugh because, and I would learn to do other stuff while I'm reading. Like we'd be playing Chinese checkers, Jamaican game. Remember that game?
Yeah, man.
Only in Jamaica them play it,
Yeah.
No Chinese checkers and things. So we would play that, and I'm playing that while I'm reading. So I'd learn how to pick up the plates off the page and just, and say it and, and still do one thing, which helped me later on with acting and with public speaking. And so, but being around the gangsters, they were all 5%ers. You know what 5%ers are?
Yes.
Black Muslims.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a watered down version of Islam, where you have the concept, but you don't have the conduct. But you have the concept. So I became a 5%er.
Oh, you
so
did?
I started learning. Yes, indeed. So my name was at that time Kim Du Allah, the whole thing. You started learning the law and the whole thing. And it gave you this little brotherhood, because these guys were, the good thing about the 5%ers is that they didn't do heavy dope, the whole thing. They stole still and they fought still, but you call the girls queens and you call them Earth and you learn some respect and you learn about Africa. And it intrigued me. And so what happened was, as I came into knowledge of self, I wanted to have names because we were the only people on the planet, which it taught me, that didn't have names that tied us to a body of land. Our names tied us to our slave masters and different things. So if I tell you, Vladimir is coming, we have some students that are coming. One of them name is Vladimir. You would know that Vladimir is a Russian. If I tell you so-and-so Pacino or De Niro or any Italian name, you would know he's Italian based on his name. If I tell you that, Lu Chin is coming, you would know Chin is a Chinese name, that he's an Asian.
Right.
Okay. If I tell you Roberto Garcia is coming, you would know he's Latin. Okay. But if I tell you Abraham Weinstein is coming, you know he's a Jew.
Jew, exactly.
But if I tell you David Grant is coming, Shevrado Oliver is coming, you don't know who the fuck he is. Because I'm an English name. Those are names that tie us to bondage. So we don't have the great names, like the Zulu Nation. So what happened was, since my grandmother had Kenyan ancestry, I went back and I took her name because I decided I reinvented myself. I didn't want to be, now my first name, right, I wanted to have ties to it. And I knew, like Ziggy Marley said, if you don't know your past, you won't know your future.
Exactly.
Big facts.
And Tomorrow People.
Yep.
Tomorrow People, which when I performed, used to be my theme song coming up on stage when I did stand-up comedy, was Tomorrow People.
Yes.
And so it was like
so you changed the name officially? It's official. That's, I'm not gonna ask
absolutely.
you.
Yes, it is. Because what happened was this, and I never got to court on that. Okay, I started making money as an actor, and I was using Stogie Kenyatta instead of Stogie Harrison. Okay, and when they sent me the IRS forms, I sent them back. I said, "That's not my name. I'm not paying that." And they said, "That's the stage name." I said, "You stole us from Africa. You stole our names, our identity. I'm not fucking paying that. Give me the whole thing, And it went on and on, back and forth. And I would write them long dissertation, Pan-African dissertations about how, them is our wicked people, and you come on your teeth up and you rob up. And they said, listen, we're going to put on your social security card, we're going to change it from Harrison to Kenyatta. We're not going to change the social security number. And you're going to pay these fucking taxes because now it will be in your name. I said, fine.
That
and they did it.
Joke.
And then we paid the blood clot taxes.
The
money may say in God we trust. I don't trust money. I pure money them trust.
The money, that's right.
So
trust in God, trust in money.
So you like Machaya Judge.
Yeah.
And them say, hey boy, come here.
So Stogie, how did you get
once I got the social security card in my name, which is what drives your identity.
Right.
Yep.
Because you can change cities and change driver's license from a different state.
Change your social.
Because I had a Stogie Harrison driver's license from New York, which I kept because that son of a bitch had a whole heap of tickets, and I knew it. And run light and get caught in the grid and all that, block the grid.
Let them come look for you. Let them come look for you. You owe New York
But
City.
check it out though. When I go to California, I took that Social Security card in and I showed to them, and they changed and took the driving test over and got a brand new driver's license, which said that. So I had two identities, and I had that one there, and so I changed all of my profile. So once you have a Social Security card, that's what drives your identity, because that's how you pay taxes and that's how you vote.
Right.
And that is all the, taxation, and, without representation, you can get to vote. And so now it made me, so that's what I did. So, I came in and did that, and that's how the name got changed, because it was important for me, because I came into my own, Stokely Carmichael, Marcus Garvey, the whole thing, of these proud Jamaicans and these, Pan-Africanists that fought at an agenda. And I didn't want to, live life without a purpose, because the purpose of life is a life of purpose. And the thing is like, why those men were not afraid to die is because they didn't live life without a purpose. It's not that other men are afraid to die. They're just afraid to die without a legacy. And you will die without a legacy if you lived without a purpose.
Got you.
And so
that reminds me of a saying I heard, that in life, there's two great things. One when you're born, and the second when you find out why. I don't know who said it.
That's right.
But what he said reminds me of that.
The two most important days in your life, the day you were born and the day you find out why.
Exactly. That's a real thing, because like as an actor, right? What I want to know is you've had to reinvent yourself. Well, once legally, but over the years of doing your one-man show. And people, if you don't know who Stogie Kenyatta is, you need to visit his website, tune in. He has a one-man show where he goes around playing Paul Robeson his whole entire life, right? And he's played in over 200 universities across the US, all kind of countries over the world. He's played in the embassies, in Barbados and other places. This dude has been all over the place.
But you haven't come to Jamaica.
Yeah.
I'm in talks with Jamaica right now. I'm in talk with the Ministry of Education right now in Jamaica.
He's coming to Jamaica, people. So stay tuned.
To go to, the other little bit there.
So you've had to reinvent yourself. How has that been for you?
Well, it's easy because, see, the thing is this. Well, not necessarily easy, but the thing is that it's a short journey, this life. One of the things I said to David when I saw the trailer, for Yardie, was I said, this is legacy. Now you have a legacy, because the thing is this. W.E.B. Du Bois said, the talented 10th rules the world. The talented 10th, meaning 10% of the people rule the entire world. Some people will say, that's not. I'm going like, it's absolutely true.
Absolutely true.
There's 300 million people in the world. Only 30 million of them ever even mattered. If you talk to 10 people, 9 of them are full of shit. They don't know it. They don't mean to be. That's not their intention, but they just are. Okay? The amount of people that have told me they're going to write their story about their journey, I can count millions, hundreds, literally, or when you're going to do a one-man show, And what I told David, from the book to the stage, to the sound stage, to the play, to the theater, to where he's got a premiere, it's a legacy piece, because the talented 10th live, and they're here. The other 90% live, and they're on the earth for around 75, 80 years, if they're lucky. And when they die, no one even knows they were ever here.
That's right.
That's true.
No one even knows they were ever here. You have something now that will live on, Like Van Gogh, who painted shit, and then he died, and then years later, after he was dead, they became millions and millions of rocks and dollars for painting, Priceless. And I'm just saying, if you might be ahead of your time, it doesn't really matter, but you have to, because, when I teach a master class, I have a master class that I teach with the show. I've been to 20 countries around the world. I'm right now waiting for a couple of international contracts.
Oh, really? Oh, that's interesting. You teach a master class?
I teach a master class in it, and it's called How Not to Leave the Keys to Your Happiness in Someone Else's Pocket.
Wow.
It is
Talking about
about
that, man. You did a lot of stuff, man. Tell me about your book. Hey, man.
You know,
Tell
it's
me
like
about your latest book.
Okay, well, I'll get to that, but let me finish on the master class. Because at that level, it's like, and I tell them, it's like a lot of people have vision, but they don't know how to execute it. They don't have the wherewithal to say, I'm willing to die trying.
Yep.
I'm going to make this happen, okay? Yeah. Because if it is to be, it's up to me. That's how I look at it all the time. You know, and a lot of people, they hear stuff, they don't know what it means, okay? But they just hear it. And like I said, for the diaspora, who's heard the word before? Everybody had their hands up. Okay, who knows what it means? Who can tell me what it means? Well, it's African. It's like the diaspora is the scattered population. The scattered population of Africans. Unlike the Jews and the Asians and everything, they have scattered population, but not like us. All Asians eat the same shit. Most of them speak the same language. They all have the same flat asses and they do most of the same shit. The same thing for the Jews. All Italians eat spaghetti and pizza.
Exactly.
Almost all of them are all Catholic. Same thing with Latino. Latins are all Hispanics. Are all Catholics. You come to black people, African, Muslim, Christian, Seventh-day Adventist, Jehovah Witness, Rastafari, Roots, every blood clot thing across the board.
We speak every language but the earth. We speak
every language. We are the ultimate. We are the most resourceful people on the planet Earth. Now, when I talk about, and we've created every single form of music on the planet Earth except opera and classical. Everything else in the world has its roots in African culture. So we are most diverse, and we've given no other ethnic group can lay claim to such a cultural contribution as the African. Okay, so the thing is, you know, now I said when I talk about vision, people, it's a. Let me give you the short term what vision is. 20 men look at the sky. 18 of them see color. 2 of them see a rainbow. Those are your visionaries. Those are your visionaries to create something out of nothing. So what I did when I got to Hollywood, and I said, he's a 6'5", 200 pound plus actor, full of muscles, the whole shit. And I've stood next to auditions and screen tests with Cuba Gooding, Chris Rock, Martin Lawrence, Eddie Murphy, Wesley Snipes. None of them are over 5'7". Chris Rock weighs 137 pounds. 45. Nigga, that was my birth weight. And I'm like, you know, I fall out of the pum pum of that weight to rock. You know, I'm like, you know, it's like.
Yo, if don't do it, a stand up, you know. If don't do it, stand up.
You know, but when I go out Little League, you know, for go out Little League, and said, play, you know, I said, you know, are you 12? He's like, no, I'm not 12. I knew you weren't 12. You're too big to be 12. You can't play. You got to be 12 and under. He's like, yeah, I'm not 12. It's like, why did you say so? Of course he can play. He's under 12. He's like, you know, I just asked him, was he 12? He said he wasn't. Because I'm not 12, I'm 11. He's like, the fuck out of here, you big motherfucker's not 11. You know, it's like, you're not 11. He said, well, I'm not, I'm turning 11. I'm fucking, you're 10, get the fuck out. It's like, you know, believe me. He said, tell your mother, bring your birth certificate down. So I said, mommy. So because I said, mommy, then want my birth certificate. It's a
birth certificate. No, what if
you know about an hospital?
A certificate. You make a certificate.
Nobody go to hospital for that, baby. I'm midwife birth you. You don't have a baby. I'm midwife birth you. We have a thing. So we go. So I brought him the thing with handwritten.
I'm going to ask you for back up a little. Stogie, we're going to ask you for back up a little. So tell me the transition. Tell me how you got to California from Brooklyn.
Oh, I got there on a basketball scholarship.
You got a basketball.
I went to Wingate High School, the school with the most Jamaicans in Brooklyn. They call it the drugstore because everybody there sell a little bit of ganja. And if you come to Jamaica, if you come to Wingate High School and you wanted ganja, they would say, "What you want? You want ganja? You want Maui Wowie? You want Panama Red? They have, you know."
Yeah,
and so
Acapulco Gold.
Right, they had that little bit. So
Jamaica named Thai stick. What's the Jamaican weed name?
It's like Sensimania.
Sensimania.
Thai stick.
That's
What?
yeah.
You don't know about Thai stick? You don't know about Thai stick?
I don't know what it is.
All right, but you say you're too young.
It's not
Too young.
like
What freaked me out, man, we're talking about marijuana. I think it was 2017, we went to Jamaica. Me and my wife went to Manuel on vacation. And everybody was smoking weed on the beach. And I said, what's going on? I said, police or what? But so this white guy from North Carolina tell me, say, yo, man, yeah, weed is legal in Jamaica. You could have up to 2 ounces. You could have up to 2 ounces, man. The cops won't bother you. I said, what?
And then for Rastafarian, I don't know when that happened, you can have like a sacrament license.
What?
So because they're Rastafarian and
Man,
it's a part of the sacrament, they can actually have more than the amount.
So you were saying about your transition from
the ability to reinvent yourself is essential in the arts because there's no guarantee of success in the arts. You do it for fulfillment. Mm-hmm. And the thing is that when I married my second wife, because my first wife was Jamaican, she was from St. Anne's, and she was a good mother, and we were married for 7 years, and we had 2 kids, but she's a wicked, vindictive woman, man.
I was waiting. I was gonna say,
hey, and him start out so sweet and so calm.
We do it like a sister.
And he have a sweet look on his face like, well, she's a nice.
Him tell me already, so but that's wait for him to say.
And that's something she wouldn't do. She couldn't say one nice thing, I used to do when I do stand-up comedy, I used to have this joke I used to do. I used to say, I said, hey, guys, I was married to a nurse. Yeah, you want to hear something really nice about my ex-wife?
Tell me.
So would I.
Huh?
No, man. Oh my God. Yo.
Mister, you want to hear something nice about my ex-wife? And the audience would go, yeah. And I'd be like, so would I.
Yo, Stogie.
Hey, man.
But tell me.
She did wicked bad, man, because, what happens is this. I met her, I was in California, and I was doing well commercially. I had a Jonathan Martin commercial, which ran nationally. I had, and I came out to shoot a Pringles commercial with Darryl Strawberry somewhere out, in Connecticut or something. And then the basketball team had a reunion. Mm. And so I had a pretty girl that I brought, because I had a girl from Adelphi University, and I brought her, and she was gorgeous and the whole thing. And they had a whole heap of girls there, and the basketball team, the big reunion barbecue picnic in Brooklyn. And so 2 of my best friends on the team had girlfriends that they were going to marry, but they'd been with for a while, and they were both nurses. And my mother, because in Jamaica, it's like if you know 4 Jamaican women, 3 of them are nurse, right? And so. One of them brought a girl with her that went to nursing school with her. And my friend said, Stogie, me and Jarvis got nurses. Me and Rick got nurses, you should get you a nurse, So when you get all the whole thing, and we're just stupid and shallow enough at the time to think that was a good idea,
Oh, my God.
And so I had a pretty girl there. And so I knocked her off the whole thing. And then no sooner than I slept with her in New York, I got a call from California that told me a movie that I auditioned for, I got it, and I was going to be shooting for 4 weeks down on the Gulf of Mexico. So when I came back to LA, I was going to have a going away party, which got me even more girls, because me I go away and shoot a little movie and thing down now Gulf of Mexico. It's like, because, Jamaicans, we don't like show off because we're humble.
We don't like show off.
We don't like show off.
We don't like show off. None of that.
But me I shoot like a movie down in the Gulf of Mexico, I think, with George Kennedy and things. So me have like a party. Bless up the people then, It's like so I had that. So I got the movie, and because we're actors, you start to think the girl is good luck. Because you're like, you're good luck, because it's a Jamaican thing. Anytime somebody say, you're good luck, and it's like, you don't have a fucking thing to do with luck. But so anyway, since she was the newest girl I dated, all the girls I said every weekend I'm gonna have a different girl come down and spend time with me on Gulf of Mexico because I'm in a rented condominium and the whole thing. I shoot movie. Okay, so I had her come the first weekend, and I called her. She said, no, I can't. I won't be able to get off that soon. I have to give them 2 weeks notice before I get off. I said, you can't get off for this week. She said, no, unless I had a death in the family. And I said, well, then tell me you have a death in the family. She says, no, I don't lie, which was I admire her because she don't lie. And I said, okay, how many brothers your father have? Because, every Jamaican, 12 and 13 a week, right? So she said, well, my father had several brothers. He said, well, how many of them still alive? I said, none of them, all of them dead. Okay, well, this is what I want you to do. Call your job and tell them your uncle dead. And you need next weekend off. Because you have to go funeral. Okay, in Jamaica. And she said, but that's right. I said, what, your uncle not dead? Just tell me your uncle is dead. He's dead, but he didn't die. He died 8-9 years ago. I said, that's no business with that. I'm not tell you when and dead. Okay, just tell him your uncle dead. Okay. So she called him.
He's dead.
So she came down to the Gulf of Mexico.
You're not lying. He's dead.
Right, So, but down there, I mash up the pum pum man thing, I'm not doing a movie, and then it was my first time on location.
So wait a minute. This is in California.
No, we shot in the Gulf of Mexico.
Oh, no, I'm saying you met.
Yeah. In California.
Okay.
But, and they were shooting a movie in the Gulf of Mexico. Then I'm flying. I had her meet me down there. So, we got, I had one of the stage hands drive me down, pick her up at the airport and take her to the condominium. The condominium are 2-bedroom and thing overlooking the Gulf of Mexico, and
Bossy.
And I broke. It's a water and you want.
Big up yourself, man. Sure.
So yeah. So
movie starting.
Yeah. And I didn't know at the time they gave you what was called per diems.
Yep.
Which is they gave you $10 for breakfast, $20 for lunch, and like $40 for dinner. So it was like $75 they gave you. And they would give it to you like a weekly. And so you'd get like $75 times 5, which is like $375, the whole thing. And I'm going like, what? I'm giving that, they can't yam that much food. So I'll go to a fanciest restaurant we had to call to make reservations. So of course, I learned from LA. Nobody in LA was an actor. I don't care how little bit you is. You do one little commercial for 3 seconds and you call, hi, yes, I'm coming. My client, Shevrado Oliver, is coming to dine at your restaurant. We'd like to get him a good seat in the back. He's an actor, and yes. So I called up to make the reservation for the restaurant.
That's how my assistant does things for you.
Oh yeah, they knew there was a movie being shot down there with George Kennedy. So they said, okay, yes, we'll have a lovely seat for him. He had him and his date and the whole thing. And I always say, I it's her birthday, so oh no, we have a special because you get free cake on her birthday. Okay, so I tell every I'm going there at your birthday, so just shut up, just behave yourself, okay, and yam the damn cake. Okay, so it's like so anyway, so we get to the restaurant. What a excitement! Them with me. And I'm like, a movie star, Mr. Kenyatta. Them give me seats and the whole thing. And I'm going like, wow. And so this is the shit out of her. She's like, it's like, yeah, And so anyway,
this the life.
We get there. We had a plenty of food.
Move your hand.
Enough of my money.
You're blocking the camera.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. Oh yeah. I ordered plenty of food, and it's we get there and. When the bill comes, which I had money because you're getting all this money now, so it's like the waitress comes over and she said, the manager would like to let you know that he's comped your meal, and as long as you're here shooting the movie, you can have dinner here as a guest of the restaurant, and we'll take care of it.
Oh, nice.
And I said, rock stone to rotted. The one blood clot time I have money for pay for dinner. And then pay for it. I'm going like, no wonder the rotted rich people stay rich. Because I worked in restaurants. And if Muhammad Ali or somebody rich came in there, then pay for the meal. And I'm going like, That motherfucker got money. You know, like, so you leave a big tip, you know, $25 tip or something like that, you know, because it's like them just comp $95 worth of food. So, you know, and so it was like, so yeah, so it was a big, big thing. So the
That's
whole
back
thing.
in the days. That's back in the days.
And that's how I got locked in with her. And because after that, you know, she wasn't going to leave me. She like, you know, me, I'm a movie star. And then, you know, your dreams don't come true. Then it's like, you know, 7 years later, it's like, you know, you get an old and thing, you know, my mother say, you know, it's like, you know, oh man, I'm the chair blood clot mother. Okay. This is what your mother said. Okay. And so one thing led to another. But you know, but it's but you have to constantly reinvent yourself.
Yeah,
because,
yeah. But your second wife, where's your second wife from?
she's from Puerto Rico, but her father's from Trinidad and Puerto Rico.
Oh, okay. So she habla español.
But no, she don't really speak Spanish because she come to the Bronx and you know and they didn't, you know, speak. So you know she's but she's Nigerican. She, you know,
At the first time I hear that one.
Nigerican, yeah man.
Be a New Yorican, but Nigerican. But you forget that tell me about your transition, man. Because when I spoke to you, you were telling me I've spoken to you in the past, and you told me that you came up on you went to California on a basketball scholarship, and your mother and your grandmother put you on the bus or something like that, or took you flew?
No, the plane. They take me to the airport.
The bus.
Yes.
Put it on you. What do you call it? The Greyhound.
Hey,
that's a long drive. That's a long drive. Anyway, so them were they expecting you to come home after your school?
Oh yeah, and I come home every year. I came home every year, but you know, because I love New York and I love the family, you know, and but I knew I was going to live there because the palm trees, the beauty, it was.
Yeah, man. I've never been out there, man. I gotta come down. Yeah, I'm gonna come down and see one of your shows. Talking about that, you have you've been quite busy for the past couple of weeks, right?
I have a show tomorrow night.
Okay, we're taping this on Friday. What is today? The 15th or the 14th? I don't remember.
15th.
Yeah, Friday, March 15th. So, yeah. So you have a show tomorrow, the 16th of March.
Right.
And where's this?
At the Santa Monica Playhouse. The World is My Home, The Life of Paul Robeson. It's a one-man Broadway-style show that I wrote. It covers, I play 12 characters in the piece. I age from the age of 5 all the way to 70. And I have
from age 5?
Pages. Huh?
From age 5?
From age 5. I'm on my knees playing as a little boy at age 5 all the way up to 70. And it's I have wardrobe changes, costume change, and it's a profound piece. And it saved my life, you know.
Tell me about that.
Saved my life. Well, you know, everything was fine till fulfillment or perish. I've never failed at anything. And I'm a sore loser, and I could not lose in this game of life because to do so would be, I just don't know what I would do. I'm a terrible employee. I would get fired from 10 jobs. They would send me on a job.
That's why you have to work for yourself, man. That's why you have to.
By day number 2, them want to fire me. And I was like, you know, and the temp agents are like, but you only have one more day, Stogie. Why?
Stogie, but how did you decide on the one-man show? How did that come about?
Well, it came about somewhat partially. It was a happy accident in one way. Robert Guillaume, it was done on Broadway with James Earl Jones. Then Danny Glover did it, you know, but their songs, and then Avery Brooks, you know, from A Man Called Hawk, he did it as well. He's a classically trained opera singer as well. Their shows had 16 songs in it, and you know, it covered a lot of stuff. I never wrote a play before, but I saw their Broadway version on video a couple of times, and I knew that I could not do that. It was a little bit boring, was a little bit too many songs. And when I did my research on Paul Robeson, he said, I didn't go to law school to come sing pretty songs for white people. He was like me. He spoke, you know, because I have some Yoruba in my ancestry as well, and he's from the Yoruba tribe in Nigeria. And, where Robeson was, you know, and some of mine is as well. But
He was the son
resemble
of a slave
the son of
or
a slave.
grandson?
Went to no, the son of a slave, one generation removed from slavery. 1919, graduated magna cum laude, valedictorian
Spoke
from
16
Rutgers
languages,
University.
right?
Huh?
He spoke 16 languages, right?
Right, yeah, around 12 languages fluently, exactly.
Yep.
And performed all over the world, and got a law degree, and just did an abundance of things. He was phenomenal, and so yeah, so he is one of my idols, and so I wrote a story like a movie, chronologically. So if you know nothing about Robeson, when you meet him in the very beginning, he's 5 years old, and it just goes up from there. And I play him as a little boy, and all the triumphs and tragedy and heartbreak, it's all in there. And the play was so compelling that I performed it over 500 times, and I've been to 20 countries around the world. I've made over $3 million on it. It sounds like a lot of money, but it's over, a 20-year period. So it's,
So you've been doing this for about 20 years?
Over 20 years, yes.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
And I would do, some months more than others, but it's I've gotten as much as $12,500 for one show. The college tour was the best secret in show business. When you go to a college, whether it's a historical Black college or whether it's UCLA with a Black student union, or I go to Yale with an African student union, you will get 400 or 600 kids that instead of going to class that day or whatever, they get to, come and see theater. The theater majors and TV and film, one of the most popular majors at not any college, every college. Every college, TV, film, theater, writing, broadcast,
right,
everywhere. They all come.
So did you have any formal, I know you did stand-up, a few stand-up.
I did a lot of stand-up.
You did a lot. Brooklyn or California? Or
mostly California. I did some in Brooklyn as well, but and I did a USO tour in Japan.
Oh yeah.
Stand-up comedy in Okinawa, Japan, and Tokyo.
Oh, cool. Cool.
Yes, indeed. And and so I wrote all that. I would come out in my first 3 minutes. One of the things you learn in stand-up is that people don't want to hear jokes from a stranger. They want to hear funny stories from a friend. So the thing is, why Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock, is we know them and we have an idea of who they are. But and so it gets, familiarity helps. So in coming out, I would go, they would introduce, ladies and gentlemen, new comedian, his name's Stogie Kenyatta. And I would come out, yeah, hey, how you doing? Yeah, that's right, Stogie Kenyatta. And Stogie's actually my given name. I was born on the island of Jamaica, raised in the capital, Brooklyn. That's right, Brooklyn, New York, where the streets are dirty and grandmothers are 30. Don't laugh. You had a baby at 17. Your daughter had one at 16. That ass is a 30-year-old, 34-year-old grandmother. She's like, I don't even look like a grandmother. I look so young. I don't even look like a grandmother. That black don't crack. I'm like, yeah, it shouldn't, bitch. You're 30.
That's funny.
Then I go right into the Jamaican. I say, he said, but I grew up in Brooklyn. I said, man, growing up in with a Jamaican mother is tough, man. I said, Jamaican mothers are strict.
Them don't spare the rod.
Yeah, I said, I remember the first time I stole a stapler from school. I stole a stapler and I brought it home from school. And my mother was mad. She was like, Stogie, stealing is wrong. Okay, stealing is wrong. I come to this country and I started with nothing. And I still have most of it. You want something? You ask me. I could have teeth one of those from the office. I said, because if you work there, it's not stealing. Okay.
No, you bring a Jamaican culture.
Yeah, and I've started the part right there, so and it would go, and I said, I see some of y'all are judging my mother. I see you're judging my mother. You're saying like your mother's a thief. No wonder he steals. It's like, see, I'm gonna tell you what my mother told me. My mother sat me down. She said, Stogie, okay. She said, I work I bust my body over 40 hours a week at that job. So the fact that I occasionally bring home a little pen or a little pencil or a computer, a water cooler, or some of the lobby furniture, it don't make I a thief, okay? It don't make I a thief, okay?
Boy.
Yo.
Because you know
You
Jamaicans, you know, you bring the shit from home, you know, because it's like that was one of the first things I did when I got to college. You know, you pass the lobby and they got these trees, these trees and pica trees, and they got a chair with an armchair and the whole shit. I would, you know, I'd have a roommate, do me a favor, come here, what time's it late? Help me carry this shit into the room. And I'd have all that shit in my room. Nigga, oh, nigga, you got a plant in your room? Wow, you got a green thumb. It was like, yeah, nigga, go downstairs, you can have one too. Okay. It's like, you know, he was like, you know, stealing is wrong. I said, it's not stealing, it's still on campus. It's still in the same building, nigga. It's stealing if I take this motherfucker home. Okay? But
That's right.
it's still here. I just moved it.
Yo, that man in trouble, you know, man.
But, you know, so it's, but yeah, but, you know, but the constant thing, you know, just like the writing, you know, the novel, which
yes, tell me about that. What's the name of the book again?
The God Stopped Smiling.
God Stop Smiling. Yo, I told you, man, I couldn't put that book down, man. Yo, when is the movie coming out, man? The screenplay, because that has to be a screenplay. It's. I read it like I'm watching a movie, right? That's how I read it, you know. And I'm saying this, you know, I could see everything vividly. You want to produce? You want me to produce? You want me to be executive producer, man?
It's going to take some money. The thing is this.
I know.
That piece there, it's best as a 5-part miniseries, like, you know, on one of the streamers. You know, because to try to condense it into a 2.5, 2 hour
it's got
movie,
too many moving parts. I hear you.
Right.
I hear you.
And so the thing is that, but the fact that, you know, you have a white guy in it as well, and it's biracial, and the thing is that it deals with universal things like, you know,
one of the main characters is a white guy,
right? And that's, you know, times where your talent takes you somewhere where your character can't keep you. That's a universal problem for everyone. You know?
Were telling me that a lot of the characters that you have, people you know from Brooklyn, the names of the
absolutely. All of the names are people from New York City, you know, that I played. You know, many of them, some of them famous, Fly Williams, the whole thing, and you know, and guys I played with. You know, the story is fiction, but the names are real. You know, because when you start looking for names, and you keep going to name Mike Brown, John Green, or something, you will forget them. But if you have names of people that actually exist, it makes better. And I would find people that, you know, that fit the thing, you know. And so it's yeah.
We're gonna put up your book on the screen, man, because people have to see that book, have to read that book, because
I've gotten it. It's it's the thing, and once again, you know, it's a legacy piece, because the beauty of books is that it can be discovered years later. You know what I mean? It's James Baldwin wrote, you know, because he wrote several books, and they said, James, you know, when you're as you get older, what do you hope, you know, to do with all your works and your arts and all the books you've written? And he said, which I thought was so beautiful, he said that many years from now, long after all of us are gone, some lost, curious traveler will be sifting through what's left of our generation and our civilization. And somewhere in there, they will find me. And I thought that was so beautiful, because exactly, you know, and so and that's what you do, because, you know, you want to leave your stamp and make a mark, and, you know, leave something, you know, a tree, you know, and that's why
that's my view. I mean, I want to leave this world better than I found it. So,
you know,
right.
And I think you know, you mentioned earlier about people, you know, they talk and they have ideas and it doesn't come to fruition. But I think mostly with our people, we're scared to stick our neck out. You know, God bless you, man. You stick your neck out, and, you know, it paid off. You know, but a lot of people, you know, they don't have, you know, a vision, or they might have a vision, but they don't feel like they can put it through.
I think it's how they view money. It's like it takes a significant amount of relearning to understand that scared money don't make no money, really. If you don't stick your neck out and put something forward, there's no way.
It might get chopped off, but you have to take that's life.
The risk.
Yeah,
you have to take a risk. And the earlier you take the risk, the better, because then you have a lot of time to recover. I mean, don't wait until like 85, you're like, hey, I'm gonna start a business. Not saying it's impossible, but
running out of time. Yeah.
Right.
So, Stogie, picking up on what Chev said, right? Did you stick your neck out, or you had people backing you from day one? How did, that's what I want to get. Was it that chance you took?
I've never had anyone backing me to this day. No one still, after 500 performances, no one represents the Paul Robeson show. I have a second phone, and I created a character because when I started selling it, no one believed in it like me, and no one sells me like me. So when I would start to sell the show over the phone, the second you say Stogie, they know you're black. As a white boy who's my web designer said, and he's a cool white boy, about 20 years, and he said, Stogie, are you kidding me? He said, the only name blacker than yours is Tupac, okay? And he said, your name may as well be Blackity Blackson, okay?
A white guy told you that.
He said, yeah. And
a white guy told you
to
that.
me, you kind of know that I'm black. So over the phone, when I was selling the show, they would say, I'm not paying $5,000, $3,000 to bring some actor I never heard of to do a show I've never seen about a guy I don't really give a shit about to my college. Why would I do that? And so I realized that just like in comedy, people want to hear funny stories from a friend, which was my whole purpose in telling them that Stogie's my name. I'm from Brooklyn, born in Jamaica, raised in Brooklyn, that my mother's Jamaican and the whole thing. To give them some idea of who I am. So then I changed it, and I started using a British accent and speaking like this because it's non-threatening and you can't really figure out whether or not I'm black or not. And I can't really use this accent with a lot of things. So I would say, David, let's do this. And I would always say, let's do this, so that it implies that you're going along with it, that we've made this decision together. And I would say, David, let's do this.
Yes.
If you allow Stogie to come there and perform his one-man show on Paul Robeson, if at the end of the performance, you do not think it's one of the top 5 theatrical performances you've ever seen in your entire life, you do not have to pay him 1 red cent. And the agency, of which there is none because it's just me, the agency will pick up the honorarium and we'll pay him.
Are you serious?
And that's what I said. And then they would say, David would say,
the man
are you kidding me? You believe in him like that? And he says, he's amazing. He blows my mind. And he says, put it in writing, Nicholas, put it in writing. And so I put it in writing. I sent an email. And so they would say, fine. And then I would go, and when I get there, they would say, look what your manager wrote. And he said, and I said, yeah, I'm aware he wrote that. He's like, yeah, I don't have a problem with that. No, that's fine. Yes. I said, all I ask is that you sit in the front row so that I know that you saw the whole show. And he said, fine, not a problem. But he should have asked me before, because I've seen over 100 Broadway shows. And, it's like, for you to be top 5, you're going to have to be blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. And then the show would start. And then it's a very emotional show.
Yeah.
Most people cry during the show. The characters cry. There's a lot of stuff, and it's emotional. The second I see him do this,
you got him.
I go, fuck you, cut my check. Go get my blood clot money.
That's right. That's right. So when you come into the Northeast, you did some shows in the Northeast, right?
Oh God, I've done Columbia University, I've done Seton Hall, I've done University of Connecticut, I've done
When
Yale.
you coming back? When you coming back to the Northeast, man?
I don't have nothing on this book yet, but I'm trying to, get back there. But without a doubt, I definitely wanted to see it, and it's but it's I've never not gotten paid for it, and each show sells the next two. And I've gone to different countries, and like I said, if you Google me, you'll see all the countries, I've been to, and U.S. embassies, cultural attaches, Grand Cayman Island, the whole things, and they're paying $100 a day per diem. Paradise Island, I've done that twice, and so it's but yeah, Bahamas and everywhere, Montserrat.
Yes.
Okay. Anguilla.
So here what I want you to do, my boss. Tell people where they can find you on social media. Give all your social media stuff right now.
Yes. I'm at Stogie Kenyatta on Instagram, on Facebook, and Twitter. I still call it Twitter. And those are the only three that I use social media. And I'm on YouTube as well. You can find me there. It's Stogie Kenyatta. Or I bought the domain name,
YouTube.
Paul Robeson.
We're going to put the spelling of your name. We're going to put the spelling of your name here so they can actually find it.
Right. And so
as in put in STOGIE.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah, Kenyatta comes up after you put that. Yeah, that shows. They said the algorithm says I've been Googled a lot. Because and that was the other thing too. That it's good to have a presence there when someone Googles you, because when Nicholas was selling the show and they're asking, so Stogie, I've never heard of him. How are you spelling his name? I could hear them typing in. And they would put in my name, and it's like, oh, he comes up and it's like, oh, he's a handsome chap. Oh, he's from Jamaica. And, because the first thing in my bio, the first two words in my bio are Jamaican-born, Brooklyn-bred, Stogie Kenyatta.
That's right.
And people say,
right there.
how you got where you were born before you have your own name? And I said, because before me know my name in the dorm, it was in Jamaica.
All right. See that? Like yourself, boss. Big up yourself, Stogie. Yo, it was a pleasure having you, man.
Yo, man. Yo, thanks for coming on, man.
It was a pleasure, bro.
We must do this. And